let's just say that this season right now, who would you rather have? Just answer fast. Jayson Tatum or Joel Embiid?
Embiid.
Jayson Tatum or Giannis?
Can we correct? Is this for regular season or postseason, or just in general?
This is just you're trying to win a title this year, and you're just picking a guy to be your best player. I'd imagine. Who are you going with? You're going with Embiid, right?
Yeah, Embiid.
Okay, Giannis or Tatum.
I'm gonna go with Giannis there.
Yeah, and then KD or Tatum.
Yeah, KD.
Okay, and this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. Harden or Tatum?
Tatum.
Okay, I'd probably still go Harden, but now I'm going to list a few names. Stop me if there's anyone that you would rather have over Tatum. Trey, Beal, Bam, Butler, Middleton. You're taking Tatum over all those?
Yeah, I'm taking Tatum over all those, I think.
Okay, I am too. So I think at the very least here, we're saying that Jayson Tatum is a top 5 player in the East. I think most people would agree. Embiid, Giannis, and KD, you're taking over Tatum at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy. Again, Harden, you can go if he's healthy. Who knows? But at the very least, he's either 4 or 5 in the conference, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what I want to figure out is where is Jaylen? So the Celtics have a top 5 player. Do they have a top 5? Do they have 2 top 10 players in the Eastern Conference? I'm not sure. So Trey or Jaylen?
Trey.
Beal or Jaylen?
Beal.
So I don't know. That's one I'm not sure. I'm not sure on. How about Bam or Jaylen? It's interesting, right? Because Bam's a little bigger. He can, but he's also limited in some ways that Jaylen is not.
I could say, I mean, Bam, but it's close. Like I said, like you go either. You tell me what the rest of my team looks like, and the answer could be Jaylen,
sure,
depending on who you have there.
Butler, Jimmy Butler or Jaylen?
I'm still taking Butler over Jaylen.
Okay, so it seems that I don't think that Jaylen's in your top 10. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. But probably 15. So more like Randall, Sabonis, maybe Vucevic, maybe Levine. Did we say Middleton? Did I ask you Middleton or Jaylen?
No, you didn't. Yeah, so I take Middleton there, but that's something where it would not surprise me by the end of the season, or even midway through the season, if Jaylen is above those guys. And I guess that's where this season lies. I think you're trying to take us here, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. And I think when you look at the rest of that list, and even if you look at, obviously KD, Harden,
you mentioned Kyrie on that list.
Yeah, I know. His mask is off though. in case you missed that. But yeah, I thought about it. I just don't think he's going to play enough to be as who he can be. Yeah, the only other names on my list were Vucevic. I don't consider him in that conversation. Randall, I would still rather have Jaylen. And begrudgingly, I put Drew Holiday on there just because he's the 3rd best player on the champions. But I don't think he was not that great for a lot of that series. Like Sabonis is a tough one for me. Sabonis or Jaylen on this team too, specifically.
Yeah, so that's one where that's like a good regular season post. I'd take Sabonis in the regular season since I think that's just that's a 2010 every night.
2010 and like 5, 6, or 7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then when you get to the postseason, I feel like he struggles to separate himself when teams can hone in on him more. Whereas Jaylen has had the track record of being able to produce with pretty good efficiency in those spots. And so I think that's where I think Jaylen is still underrated. Is his postseason track record is been stellar throughout his career in some big spots. And obviously we didn't see him last postseason. But that's something where, if you want to get into top 15, I'll take a lot of those guys in the regular season, but like Randall or Brown in the postseason, give me like Brown every day of the week.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think he might be in my top 10 because I say Embiid, Giannis, KD, Harden, JT. That's 5.
Yeah,
and then I would probably take Trey. I don't know about Beal. I think that Beal is obviously a better scorer, right? I think he can maybe change a game a little bit more. But again, when you already have Tatum, that gets into that's not really what we're talking about. Like if you have Tatum already, I think you'd rather have Jaylen. But just like defensively, and just
It's not even close defensively. Like Beal is not a good defender at all.
Right. And just like the versatility that Jaylen has now on that level, the fact that like what did Jaylen shoot from 3 last year? What was the final number? Do you know?
I don't have it offhand. I want to say
percent. I have
30,
it right here.
I want to say 37%, 38%.
Jaylen shot 39.7% from 3 last year.
So
which then I think and I love looking at his foul shots. Last 3 years, 65%, 72%, 76%. So it's all creeping up. I think that he gets to 40 and 80 this year, 40% from 3 and 80% from the foul line. And if he's there, then I'm certainly gonna have him over Beal. But yeah, so I think I'd have him over Beal even now. And then like I'd rather have you probably have to take Middleton over Jaylen as much as I'd like to go the other way. So Trey, Middleton, Bam. I'm going to put Jaylen at 10.
That's fair. I respect.
I'm just going to say it just so we can say that the Celtics have 2 of the top 10 players. And what other teams? What other teams have that? I mean, the Nets do, the Bucks do.
I noticed that Ben Simmons isn't on this list.
You know, I was funny when I was going through like the best players on the contenders or just any team. I did think of him for 1 second, but it was nice knowing that like I wouldn't have to feel bad or put up a fight about not including him in this conversation. Like, is it possible that again, if at the end of this year, if he somehow finds the right spot, could we be talking about him as a top 10 player in the East? Certainly not if he's traded to the Western Conference, but otherwise, I think it's possible. But right now, he's certainly not there.
He's got to show up to training camp first, and then
yes, right, exactly.
What category?
And then other than that, it's like Tobias, obviously not. There's no one. There's really no one else that.
Well, what about Siakam could have a bounce back year, like guys like that who aren't going to expect it to be there, but he's hurt. I mean, you're right. There's no other. That should be the competition, right there, unless someone takes a leap. And amongst the bottom tier teams,
right? Yeah, because there's still the potential for a really bad player on a good team, a really good player on a bad team is how I should say that.
That too, though.
Yeah, but yeah, and then on the other Capella, obviously not there. Like, there's really no Gordon Hayward. Do you think Gordon or LaMelo? Like, do you put them in the conversation? Not yet. Jeremy Grant is, no. Yeah. I don't think so. But yeah, because I was actually using last year's PER rankings to sort of just give me a general idea of who should be in the conversation, and I was reminded of something just fantastic. And do you know what that is from PER from last year?
Do tell me.
If you did, that would be very impressive. So if I'm going through the top 5 in PER last year, number 1 was Embiid, number 2 is Giannis, number 3 was Jimmy Butler, number 4 was Kevin Durant, and number 5 was Robert Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say.